Hello everyone, my name is Tom Hogan. Welcome to Trackside with Tom. I am the owner and operator of Steel Highway Railcams, and I am thrilled to be here with everyone tonight. Hello everyone, welcome to Trackside with Tom. My name is Tom Hogan. I'm the owner and operator of Steel Highway Railcams, and I am online here today, and we're going to do an open house program, or a live open program, where viewers can choose what they would like to watch. We had a little bit of a technical glitch here at the beginning of the program, which apparently led to the stream immediately dying after I tried to kick it off. But I think I've got it resolved now. So hopefully everyone finds the new link and we're able to get this program underway. So tonight we are going to do a program which is going to be viewer's choice, and just let whoever wants to throw in timestamps and make sure that everybody knows that we're looking for people to submit whatever they would like to, whatever timestamps and cameras that they'd like us to look at. That's what I'm here to go after today. So, I think that... Oh, hang on a second. Timestamps and make sure that everybody knows that we're looking for people to submit whatever they would like to, whatever timestamps and cameras that they'd like us to look at. That's what I'm here to go after today. So I think that there is something goofy going on here, but for some reason we had two streams going at the same time, and apparently I just need to reopen the stream that I already had going. Make sure that everybody knows that we're looking for people to submit. We're going to get out of that and get back into here. All right. Well, I'm sorry for the confusion, guys, but I am here now, and I apologize for all of the problems that we had with technical difficulties getting started here. But we're going to jump right in and start out at Fort Madison with this afternoon's Southwest Chief westbound Southwest Chief coming into Fort Madison. We're going to start off with him crossing the drawbridge from the Illinois side over to the Iowa side. And thank you, of course, to, I believe it was Tom L. is the camera operator this afternoon that was tracking the Southwest Chief. So let's see here. E-Train, hello, John Bulio, Buddy Burton, M. Helium, Daniel Swanson, that's CN Railfan. A-Train, M. Helium, Dave Kroger, Mighty Lou, good to see you guys. H.O. Scale, Brett, good to see you. Oh, 1832 at Fort Madison. All right, so we got some timestamps that people are already putting in here. 1730, Dubuque North, a weed sprayer train with an SD70 Mac. All right. So I think that the technical difficulties have been resolved now, and hopefully everyone is just getting one version of this live stream. Tyler, good to see you. We have the Southwest Chief heading in. Heading in toward Fort Madison here. He's just coming off the bridge. And Brian Rock Railfan, good to see you as well. Let's see here. I think this is just kind of a normal size train today, honestly. Let's just take a look and see when we zoom out a little further. Jack Mitchell, good to hear you. Good to see you as well. So, as we are watching the Fort Madison camera, I definitely want to make sure that everybody knows to thank the Lost Duck Brewery for allowing us to host the webcam there. Riveted Rail Fan, good to see you, Luke. And we've got two P42s, it looks like, and a pretty normal train length here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 car lengths. All right. So that's what we've got for Amtrak today. And next up, let's see here. For timestamps, I believe that we are going to go next to 1832, Fort Madison. Looks like a grain train if I'm reading Brett's notes here correctly. So, we're going to back up just a little bit more. And we will see 18, not quite far enough. Well, if we go back to 1837, we see that we have a container train coming westbound across the geometry train. All right. 3-8 through Iowa Falls, and 2 of them Barnes. Ah. All right, so he must be talking about the 571 going out to Fort Dodge. All right, we're going to back up just a little bit further here. And, and we have at 1834, we have here is the geometry train. Again, coming westbound off of the Mississippi drawbridge, heading toward the Fort Madison depot. And he appears to have a Santa Fe motor in the lead. So thanks for the heads up on this, Brett. Definitely appreciate it. And as we see this Santa Fe motor with one BNSF hopper and then the inspection car bringing up the rear. And it is interesting that because the BNSF runs this as a separate geometry train, whereas we've seen on the CN, they have the track inspection boxcars that they run on the head end of some of their container trains, their Q trains. And then right behind this, we have another train coming across the drawbridge. And I believe that this is the container train that we saw the head end of just a few moments ago. And the container train is what we saw a few minutes later. Number 3 had an extra coach, and number 5 had an extra sleeper today. All right, well, thank you, Larry Osborne. Appreciate that. Yes, a war bonnet leader. Always nice. Hello, Strelka? Is that how you say your name? Good to see you. I believe perhaps a first-time commenter there. And it is always kind of neat to see these trains come around off the bridge and around this big curve before they loop back down into downtown Fort Madison toward the depot. CSX is doing heritage locomotives. Yes, the Baltimore and Ohio heritage locomotive. That is what the CSX has got cooked up for rail fans now. All right, so this is, if we get this guy down here, I think that what we're gonna see is this is again GE power on the BNSF. Nothing.
Go outbound, gonna need some water.
Nothing too terribly
Dispatcher.
Exciting about it. Geometry train basically measures the track geometry. It's looking at the gauge of the rail, the space in between the rail. It's also looking at the level, the cross level of the rail. Oh, you were, all right, so Brett was running the camera for this one. Got it. All right. Well, thanks for the heads up there, Brett. Okay, so for our next timestamp, we are going to jump over to Dubuque North at 17:30. And thank you, Jeeper Preacher, for this next highlight that we have. If we jump over to Dubuque North, we are going to see Dubuque North, Dubuque North, Dubuque North. And as we scroll down, there's Dubuque North. All right. And we're going to jump over to 17:30, I believe was the timestamp. So, I know I mentioned it earlier, but this is going to be there's that KCS SD70 Mac. And weed sprayer train that looks like going north. Is that what we said? Is the same? Yes, weed sprayer train, SD70 Mac. And a short weed sprayer train going north on the Marquette sub. So, thank you to Jeeper Preacher for that particular highlight. And thank you to the 31 people that are logged in watching us live right now. Let's see here. Next is going to be 1947. We have a BNSF grain train with a Seattle, Portland, and Spokane, Portland, and Seattle legacy hopper. Westbound BNSF grain train. That is fascinating. That a very rare catch, quite honestly. So let's go to Ottumwa BNSF. Here we go. And if we go to Ottumwa BNSF and we go to, what time were we talking about? 1947. So not too far back. Oh, I almost got it. Let's see here. So this is a westbound train going by the Ottumwa BNSF camera. Oh, it's got a Ferromex unit. That's fascinating. Always an interesting catch. But otherwise, it looks like at least the beginnings of a BNSF system hopper train. Some privates mixed in there, AOKs and Tilexes, COER. Although I'm not familiar with, we'll have to look up. What is the COER reporting marks? COER reporting marks. Crab Orchard and Egyptian. Fascinating. Alright, well, it's a Class 3 carrier in southern Illinois. Alright. Well, learned something new today. Crab Orchard and Egyptian. And as we watch this BNSF grain train, there's a wagon wheel BNSF hopper that went by. But we're looking for the Seattle, Portland, and Spokane. Although I think I said that backwards again. Spokane. Yes. So thank you for pointing this out. This is A train pointed it out to us, and just a standard empty unit hopper train going west to get reloaded somewhere in possibly Nebraska or Colorado or Kansas. Let's see here. What is our next timestamp going to be? Thank you everyone, by the way, for throwing these timestamps out. Geometry train, we got that in 1832. Amtrak number 3. Alright, 1750 at Washington. So, we will go to Washington next. That'll be the next webcam that we're going to look at. As we're continuing to roll by this BNSF hopper train, I just want to say a couple of things to people. We hit some milestones in this past week. We have 9,000 subscribers to Steel Highway Railcams now. So thank you to everyone who has subscribed or told anyone else about Steel Highway, because we want as many subscribers as we can get, but we're continuing to grow and hit more milestones, and that's one just fantastic way that is another evidence of all the support that we have from the railfan community. All right, Washington now. Buddy Burton gave us a timestamp from the Washington Depot. So we are going to, look at this. Have we got the section out here? This doesn't really look like a section truck. Some kind of a high rail is out here. This is live in Washington right now. Some kind of a high rail is out here working at 9:20 at night. This is fascinating. Let's see here. What is the actual timestamp? 1750 at Washington. Well, if anybody knows why or what these high rails are doing out here in Washington tonight, I would be fascinated to hear about it. It does appear that the new placement of the Washington webcam seems to have mitigated the problems that we had with the flag knocking the camera around. All right, so we're going back to 17. There's 1705. We want 1750. So we reverse those last two numbers, but we're going to find this. 1750. And, one of the things that we have not yet talked about is the 180s and 181s that have started, and I'm assuming that that's what this timestamp is going to be. We have these 180s and 181s that the CPKC has initiated between Mexico and Chicago. And we're looking at a northbound train coming into Washington, and he's kind of crawling along here. We have a CP AC 4400 and it looks like a similar KCS going through there. So CPKCS, and we have Schneider containers. I know that it was fairly well documented, the switch where Schneider has moved their international traffic, or some of their international traffic at least, over to the CPKC. And this guy is, Washington is kind of on top of a big hill. This guy is kind of crawling through town here, which makes me think he's either on a slow order, which is certainly possible given the fact that there's all these ties stacked up on the side, or he's just pulling slow. So we have some Swift containers. Bison, that seems like a newer Yankee. And now we're getting into auto racks. Interesting. Trainiac, good to see you tonight. Daniel Swanson. A Mexico Midwest Express. 261 was slow through Washington today too. Must be a slow order. That would make sense. Yes, this is the 181. This is the northbound or eastbound. Well, no, it would be northbound 181 train. So that is what we're... This is the 180 is the counterpart that goes to Mexico. This train is going to Chicago. But it's stacks and racks is what they're referred to as. There's some fascinating graffiti on the side of that BNSF auto rack. Alien signals, it looks like. So, Bison Transport from Winnipeg. Interesting. I had no idea. But we've got more auto racks going by. CP, CN, NS. Anthony Venti, how are you doing? Trainiac, no, I have not had any success getting a hold of anyone in Winona, but I definitely will be following up with you because I have an interesting lead that I think you're going to want to know more about. So, thank you. Trainiac is one of our big boy members right now, and so he is working with me to pick a webcam location of his choosing, and he really wants something in southeast Minnesota along the CPKC. So, this is a great opportunity for me to bring up that if you are a member of the channel, you need to make sure and fill out the form that goes along with the membership so that I can ship you your stuff. 47 containers and 51 auto racks. All right, thank you. Good to know, John Bulio. Appreciate that. Barry and Butler Junction. Hello. But yes, channel memberships are an important part of supporting the channel, and it's a way to get the Steel Highway magazine without having to pay it all up front. You can basically pay it on like a monthly payment program, as well as you can get all kinds of fun stuff. I have a new box of hats here. I have camera straps. I have all kinds of great stuff to share with people. So, who is Road and Rail Media Group? I am not familiar with that. Maybe someone else in the chat would be able to answer that question. I do not know who Road and Rail Media Group is. Not familiar with them anyway. Alright, so we have this 181 going north, and as we're rolling this guy by, tomorrow we will have another location on the CP in eastern Iowa to be able to watch trains go by. So right now we have Ottumwa. We have the north end of Ottumwa, which is we have Ottumwa BNSF and Ottumwa CP. So you can watch the trains departing Ottumwa on the CP side. You can watch them going here at Washington. You can watch them going through Muscatine. You can kind of watch them from LeClaire. If you zoom in really well, you can see them at LeClaire when they're going by from the Port Byron side. So a decent sized 181 there that we just got done rolling by. So we're going to go to our next timestamp here, and then I'll keep telling people, I'll continue my thought on the let's see here, on the locations along the CP. All right, 10:14 a.m. Belle Plaine, NS mid DPU on a PSR eastbound. All right. Well, let's take a look and see. So if we go to Belle Plaine, there's actually another, there is another highlight from Belle Plaine that I kind of wanted to get to today anyway. So let's go back first to 10:14, which is going to be back quite a ways here, because it's actually 10:14 a.m. and all right, so here comes our east line. Like that there's guys working on the roof of this other building. Did this building get extended, or are they replacing the roof on it? I don't know if anyone has information on it. But that would be interesting to know. So, as I read through the comments here, and we have, we're seeing auto racks now, manifest, reefers, just a little bit of everything here. And there's the NSDPU, and then the container train behind it. So I wonder if this is also, if this is a container train that ran separate maybe to North Platte and then got combined with this manifest to go east with a single crew instead of two. I agree. I think they're just re-roofing this. So anyway, there's some. So there's some of the those squarish-looking steel coil cars. Always interesting to see that. Some HLCX units past mills at 2035. There were also some Helm leasing units that passed the Grand Mountain Belle Plaine webcams, and I wanted to see if anybody had a timestamp for them at Belle Plaine. If you've got the timestamp for the Helm leasing units on the, it would be a westbound at Belle Plaine sometime here this afternoon. All right. Road and Rail Media Group taking videos at Winona. Yeah, I'm not familiar with them. Trains in Minnesota. How are you doing tonight? Yes, M. Helium. All right. Track work at Fort Byron. There may be track work. Fort Byron is tough though, because you only get one train a day through Fort Byron, and so you really have to. And they're usually not very long trains, so it can be tough to find. It can be tough to really find the right time to see a train go by there. Yeah, I agree. It looks like they're just re-roofing that building. TM&W boxcar. Yes. Looks like, oh, look at that. So there's a, this is interesting. I'm going to pause this for a second. These are some very long, very long timbers, poles, trees that they cut down, whatever it is. But then they're also, so they've got the stake car holding the lumber, but then they've also got spacer cars on either end. So apparently they cut them to a certain length, that was longer than a flat car, and they decided to include those spacer cars so that they wouldn't rub up against other rolling stock. That's fascinating. All right. Yes. NPPR. I agree. This looks very much like an NPPR type train. Let's see here. 902 Dubuque, Colorado. Electricity installing utility line. Yes. 1312 at Belle Plaine. All right. Thank you, Tyler. Dropped in Ames and picked up by another train to go north past Mills. Interesting. Yes, telephone poles. Yes, thank you. All right, so there is the end of our manifest eastbound. Now we're going to jump ahead to 1312. Oh, a little bit too far here. It looks like we're actually going to get to see a meet. So let's get the whole. So we've got this westbound parked here, and he is probably making a meet at the Belle Plaine crossovers, honestly. I know that sometimes because if the trains stop here, they don't have very many, or maybe not any crossings blocked together. So he's making a meet with this eastbound to. And I don't know if this is one of those bird trains, but I'd like to see if there's piggybacks anywhere in the consensus. But right now it looks like just a domestic container train. Hub group. Just, EMP, lots of the really common domestic carrier boxes. But this train that's on Main 1, these are Helm Leasing, and I think we figured out these are Jeep 38s or Jeep 40s. I believe it was decided that these are Jeep 38s. So these would be the HLCX units. And yeah, apparently these were set out in Ames and then picked up to go north, and then they went by Mills Tower later in the day. Fascinating. All right, well, thanks for the information there, Tyler. So yes, Clay train, 1312 E train, yep. And then the HLCX units past Mills at 2035. All right, so there's some more timestamps for you if you want to follow them along. We will go over to Mills and check out the 570 and 571 meet. We'll probably do that next. It looks like that there are, if I'm counting right, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of these HLCX Jeeps that are getting delivered. So could they be going to Genesee, Wyoming? Are you talking about the operation there west, what are they calling it? Rapid City Pier and Eastern? That could be. Buddy Burton, turn down the sound. Are you talking about the sound of the microphone, or turning down the sound of the train traffic? But yeah, I can definitely turn it down. So, we have a couple of new webcams that we are going to make everyone aware of. Tomorrow, I am going to be installing at Duluth, and I'm pretty excited about this site. There's a good training. Yeah, all right, we can turn down the train noise, definitely. So, the Clinton webcam is going to go in tomorrow. It's also going to be an ATCS site. Now, I did have to take down the Savannah ATCS equipment, but I'm working with the city of Savannah on getting a new placement by getting a new placement for the Savannah ATCS equipment that is going to be included with a webcam looking at the diamonds in Savannah. So I'm working very hard on that. I'm very confident that there's interest there, and I think that's going to work out. So I'm excited about it. But in the meantime, we are going to be missing the Savannah ATCS and Savannah radio feed in the probably next month or so before it gets back online. So thank you to our host for the last 2 years in Savannah, but we're going to have an even better location. I think we're going to get better reception, and I think that we're going to be able to get, the inclusion of the webcam is always just a huge thing. So when it drowned me out, I believe I was talking about going to Clinton to install a new webcam, which is going to be tomorrow. It's going to be at the Clinton County Museum. I know that we've been working on fundraising for this a long time. I've been talking about this for a year, I feel like, maybe longer. But it is in fact going to happen. I'm going to be there, and we're going to get this set up, and I'm very excited about the possibilities tomorrow. So look for that, probably being online tomorrow afternoon, if I had to guess. As this eastbound train, man, this thing really is long going by here. I was expecting to be able to get to see the westbound pull by at some point, but I'm just going to keep talking about it. Oh, there's the end of it, so we'll see now. Does he pull down? Now that the wind is blowing, but he apparently did not immediately. All right, so now, hello Patrick Shea, how are you doing? So yeah, this is something that, when we were looking at this earlier, it was interesting to see they've got these orange caps over the exhaust, and somebody had asked the question if those were beacons or lights, but they're not. They're just caps to keep rain out of the exhaust when the engine's not running. So there are your HLCX leasers that are going to the RCP&E in South Dakota. All right, next up is going to be our timestamps at Mills Tower. So we're gonna go ahead and get out of this and go over to Mills Tower, Mills Tower, Mills Tower. Here we go. And at Mills Tower, we're going to see the meet between the 570 and 571 locals this afternoon. And 1818. All right. Oh, well, there is actually... All right. So here comes the eastbound pulling across the diamond. And some NS power, a couple of SD70s, and a Gevo maybe. Yeah, so some GE power. That last one looks like a Tier 4 GE. Alright, so 2 Jeep 40s and 2 Jeep 38s. Good to know, thank you. Sawmill Museum. No, it's actually going to be at the Clinton County Historical Society on South 1st Street. So this is our eastbound 570 local, operated from Fort Dodge through Iowa Falls and over to Waterloo. And a long string of tanks today. Almost looks like he could have a loaded ethanol train, honestly. And then as he gets himself in the clear, we're going to see the other local. And this is the one we're really looking for, because I believe that this train has more of the Dash 8s that are going to storage in Council Bluffs in his consist. Let's see what we've got coming here. It looks like an NS leader. Those flashing ditch lights are always a giveaway. We'll turn this down just a hair. And yes, we can see more of the Dash 8s going to storage. A couple of barns and a standard cab Dash 8 all going to storage out in Council Bluffs. Nobody really knows what their final disposition is going to be, but that is in fact where they're headed right now. So, as this guy rolls by, you know, we've seen quite a few of those Dash 8s going through westbound on the 571s and 337s in the last couple of weeks. We also had a pair of Death Stars that ran on 338, 337 the last couple of days, so look for those in the highlights, and thank you, Tyler, Kansas Train Videos, for making all of our fantastic highlights, which I know that many of you enjoy watching every time that they get published. So, you know, something to look for as we continue along here. And it looks like this guy is actually stopping to do some work while he's blocking the diamond. So we will jump ahead a bit here. And we're going to jump ahead just to 2035. Just because I want to show people a little bit of the railroad operation that you get sometimes. So we were talking about how those HLCX units were on a westbound train that went by Belle Plaine. They apparently got set out at the East Ames Yard, and now they're going north. Here we can see the same exact units going north on a different train, and going up to, well, going towards St. Paul anyway, but probably going to get set out at Mason City, or maybe even go all the way to St. Paul and then go back down and get set out at Mankato for the RCP&E possibly. Yes, miss seeing those Dash 8s. Jeep 38s. Dash 2s, Jeep 38 Dash 3s. Interesting. All right. So this is a northbound train on the UP. And while I'm thinking about it, we need to mention all of our fine host locations. We bounced around quite a bit, but we had the Lost Duck at Fort Madison. And then we went to the Ottumwa BNSF, which is the Main Street Donuts in Ottumwa. We went to Washington, which is the Washington Depot Airbnb. And we went to Belle Plaine, which is the Belle Plaine Area Museum. And now we're in Iowa Falls, which is the Mills Tower, or Iowa Falls Historical Society. So, thank you to all of our wonderful hosts for allowing us to have webcams in all these fantastic locations. As we are continuing along here, do we have more timestamps? Excuse me. More timestamps to look at. Let's see here. Does anyone want to throw out some timestamps for Mount Pleasant or Sedalia or any of the places that we haven't checked out here recently? I am always, this is Open Line Wednesday, viewer's choice. So you guys tell me what you want to look at, and we will check it out. I'm just looking at, I think I'm pretty well caught up on all the messages in the chat. So it's just a matter of anybody's got anything interesting that they want to share, go ahead and throw it in there. So as far as upcoming locations go, Clinton is going to happen tomorrow, and we are going to have a Mount Vernon webcam sometime in the coming weeks. And we're going to have Savannah, Illinois coming up. I don't have a time frame on it, but I know that there's definitely interest within the community. I've met with some people from the city of Savannah and talked to the historical society there. There's all kinds of interest in having a webcam in Savannah, so we just got to work out the details. But definitely look for that to come. As far as the Clinton install tomorrow with ATCS, I'm really hoping that we're going to cover both Deer Creek and Comanche, and maybe that hold signal at 167 as well. It would be great if we could get all of that off of one location. So we'll just kind of have to see what happens. But that's what I'm looking at for tomorrow's install in Clinton. And thank you to everyone who donated to the Clinton location. The fundraising has been phenomenal, and I think that we're going to get I think we're going to be really happy with the end product when you guys see what I've got in store for tomorrow. As far as looking through the comments, I think we're pretty well caught up. I'm not going to tell you that I haven't missed something somewhere along the way, but I'm definitely looking through and seeing that there's a fair number of people tuned in. We got 31 tuned in live tonight, so thank you everyone for checking out the program. And as this train rolls by, we'll just talk very briefly about check out steel-highway.com and make sure and see all of the fantastic stuff that Steel Highway has to offer with as far as the hats, camera straps, the magazine, just all the really neat stuff and ways that you can support the channel by purchasing the equipment not purchasing the equipment, purchasing the different merchandise that we have for sale. All right, so we are going to jump off of this now, and William Clare, hello tonight, good to see you. We're going to go over to Munger, because I know that everyone loves to see a little bit of the Iron Range. So let's see here. PTZ at Trempealeau. Well, I'm working on a plan to make another trip to Minnesota in July, and I cannot share all the details because there is some proprietary stuff here that I can't discuss. But if I'm able to make this trip to Minnesota in July, then my plan is to have make the side trip to Trempealeau at the same time. All right, so we are going to look and see. This is going to be a southbound going by the Munger camera location. It looks like we have a rail fan out here sitting in his car watching the train go by as well. So there, yep, this is a loaded taconite train going down toward Duluth. Can you monitor the Mason City sub with ATCS? Are you talking about, so the Union Pacific Mason City sub, we used to be able to, but cannot anymore because it's been converted over to, converted over to positive train control. The Mason City sub for the Canadian Pacific or the CPKC. Ooh, there's some steam coming off these taconite loads toward the end here. There's still some hot, steamy taconite going by. Interesting. The Canadian Pacific Mason City sub is track warrant territory, so you cannot monitor that. That does actually bring up a good point. I've been working with the city of Calmer to try to get that Calmer webcam back online, and it appears I'm going to have to go up there and actually replace the PC, and we think that the PC might have actually died. So let's see. Oh yeah, lots of steam coming off the taconite loads there. Well, thanks for that. Let's see here. IC 6251 trailing at Munger. 2040 at Munger. All right, well, we're already at Munger, so we'll just skip ahead a little bit and check that one out as well. 2040 at Munger. 2005. We got to go a little bit further. Oh, we have a train going by on the overhead bridge. All right. And then I guess about the time that that one clears, we have northbound working his way upgrade on the Missabe sub. So thank you to the Munger Tavern for hosting this fantastic webcam location for us as well. UP Adams sub is track warrant with positive train control. Yep. But in order for ATCS to even begin to work, you have to have a CTC system there, which there currently is no signaling system on the Canadian Pacific Mason City sub. There are two places where there are signals, but there's just interlockings with the CN and the Iowa Northern. All right, so there is that Operation Lifesaver unit, the IC 6251, going north on a limestone load by the Munger Tavern. So thank you again to the Munger Tavern for hosting this fantastic M Helium. Is there going to be a new paint scheme for the CPKC engines? Well, I have no idea. Your guess is as good as mine, but honestly, it wouldn't surprise me if they just went to white block lettering with red, that candy apple red, and it just says CPKC on the side. Wouldn't surprise me at all, but we will see what happens. All right, we're going to jump over now to Mount Pleasant, and I believe that at Mount Pleasant we have a timestamp of 1314. 1239. Oh, we didn't get to see the head end of the train. Let's back up a little bit. Here comes his headlights around the curve. 2043 at Bellevue. All right, that's good to know. So as this westbound approaches, oh, this is 1305. Did I not go far enough? Where was the time? 1314. All right. Well, we know that this is a coal train, empty coal train going by. So we'll take a look and see what this is first before we go on to the actual timestamp that somebody gave me. And it looks like he's got pretty basic BNSF power. Yeah. I mean, it's a couple of SD70s, which is moderately interesting, but they're in H3 or H4, I guess. All right, so if we... Oh, wait a second. I think that we might have seen the moderately interesting DPU show up. So let's see what's coming up on the rear of this empty coal train. It looked like he had two DPUs, And if I saw this correctly, I think that we have, yes, we have an executive Mac. All right. So thank you for the catch on that. All the MD power on this coal train. All right, thank you, Trainiac, for sharing that with us. Definitely appreciate it. All right. So does anybody have a timestamp for Amtrak at Mount Pleasant? Or has it even been through yet? I assume it's been through already. But I don't know if I'm going to be able to find it. So, let's see here. If I scroll back, are we going to find an Amtrak, or are we just going to be sitting here looking and watching? Well, thank you, everyone, for the 38 people that logged in today. Yeah, all EMD, that's right. Yeah, I'm not finding this quickly. So we're going to thank the... Oh, 6:15. All right, for number 5. Well, just in time. I was just about to give up. But we will go back. Mount Pleasant, 1815. Oh, a little bit too far there. But we'll find it. And, yeah, there it is. Look at that. All right. Here comes Amtrak on main number 2. Coming into town. We see a smattering of people here at the depot. Waiting to get on the train or waiting for loved ones. Yes. Yeah, it's all right. I knew what you meant, so... And, again, you know, pair of... Alright, so, pair of P-42s on the... For power on the Amtrak. This is the westbound California Zephyr. And here he is stopping to do his station work. So, thank you to everyone for tuning in tonight. Always appreciate everyone stopping in and saying hello. And make sure and keep telling people about Steel Highway. Keep telling people about Trackside with Tom. And make sure to tell everybody about this new webcam that's going into Clinton tomorrow. We're going to be right on top of the CPKC Davenport sub. And you will also have line of sight to see the Union Pacific drawbridge and see trains going across that in Clinton as well. So, should be an exciting day tomorrow. Make sure everyone checks that out. And I am happy to report that I have, in fact, made it through an entire another year. I want to thank everyone who sent me birthday wishes yesterday. I am now 44 years old. And, you know, feeling every day of it, I'm not going to lie. So, thank you again to everyone. And make sure and come back next Wednesday night for Trackside with Tom again.